Good afternoon, good people. And today we are starting with our lesson. And of course, this is mathematics grade 8. We will be looking at different expressions where we will try and substitute the values of x in order to find the y values. And at the end of this lesson, of course, you will get your homework, which you can be able to do whilst you are at home. So now, this is very important in a sense that whenever you have any questions, feel free at any time to reflect. You can send your questions either in the chat group or the group chat rather, and then we can answer your questions. Welcome everyone. And of course, you can see we have a table which I want you to copy and thereafter complete. Can we take the time to copy the table and thereafter let's complete the table. As you can see in this table, we have x values and y values. And of course, the value of y there is negative 2x, and then you can substitute all the values of x. So please let us substitute. One of the values is negative 2, and then we need to use the negative 2 now in the equation just to find the x values. Can we use the negative 2 in this particular instance to find the values of y? So I'm just going to demonstrate the first one, which I will write in the form of an equation in the group chat. You can see that y is equal to negative 2x minus 2. That is the equation. And then how do you proceed? So there is only one way in which you can proceed to calculate this is to substitute. So the best way to do this is just to substitute. And of course, we have the value of x, which is negative 2. If x is negative 2, then 2 times negative 2 will give us positive 4. And then, of course, if you subtract 2 from 4, you will definitely get 2. So meaning that your y value will be positive 2. So in other words, y will be equal to negative 2, as I've said. And then you open a bracket, then you put a negative 2, then close bracket, and then minus 2. So basically, this is how you will proceed. And then, of course, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So y will be equal to 4 minus 2. And what is 4 minus 2? 4 minus 2 is 2. So therefore, y will be equal to 2. So basically, this is how I want us to complete this table, by demonstrating that for every value of x, you can find the y value. But at the same time, if x is negative 2, y will be positive 2. And of course, in Ntlanhla, the assessment date is next week, Monday. So next week, Monday is the assessment date, which will be 20 of July, then 2020. I hope that you are answered. Right, and then the next one x is -1, and then of course, if x is -1, then you will multiply negative by negative to get positive. So you'll have 2 minus 2, which is 0. So 0 is the correct answer there. So Natalie, I've noted your correct answer, which you said that y is equal to 0. I fully agree with you. That's the correct answer there. And then if x is 0 now, once more, you have to substitute your 0 there into the equation. And of course, it means that your equation will be y will be equal to -2 into 0 minus 2. And of course, the final answer will be 0 minus 2, which is -2, as Lesedi said. So remember that 0 minus 2 is the same as -2. So Lesedi, I agree with you. But I see, Lesedi, you have positive there. You have a positive number. Just double check because when you multiply 0 by -2, you should get 0. And 0 subtract 2. If you subtract 2 from 0, you get -2. So just double check. I see you wrote +2. You wrote +2. Right, and then when x is 1, the next one is when x is 1, what will be the value of y if x is 1? Once again, you can be able to put it into the equation. We know that y will be equal to -2. And then, of course, if x is 1, then you put 1 there, rather. And then you close your bracket and then -2. So basically, this is what you will have. If x is 1, then you'll have y is equal to -2 into 1 minus 2. Remember that -2 multiplied by 1 is -2. And then -2 minus 2, then the final answer will be -4. I hope that this is what you probably all got. That is if x is 1. And then if x is 2, once more, you should be able to see that y will be equal to -2, open bracket, and then you put the 2 there. And then, of course, -2. I'm sure you can see by now that if you multiply -2 by 2, you get -4. And then, of course, -4 minus 2 is -6. So -6 will be the correct answer there. I hope that you are following all the steps. So the last one, what will be the value of y if x is 3? What will be the value of y if x is 3? Lesedi says the value of y will be -8. And how do you derive -8, Lesedi? Of course, you multiply 3 by -2 to get -6. And remember that if you multiply -2 by 3, that will on its own will give you -6. So remember that -6 and then -2 will give you -8. So I agree with you, Lisa. The -8 will be the correct answer there. So, having said this, we are just going to proceed to copy and complete the table. So the next one, of course, will be a bit different. You can see I have the x values ranging from -3 to +3. So those are integers from -3 up until +3. So can we find a way to use or to make use of this rather just to find the values of y? Can we use this x values to find the y values? Right. You can see if x is -3, then you can be able to substitute that into the equation. Remember, our equation is, in this case, 10x. So you'll have 10x minus 7. That is the expression that you have. 10x minus 7, and then if x is -3, then again you will be able to substitute the value of -3 into the equation. And then 10 multiplied by -3 will be -30, and -30 minus 7 will be a -37. So I see that, Lesedi, you omitted the negative sign in your last part there. Thank you very much. I see you have just fixed that. So very important. Never forget to put a negative sign if it has to be part of your answer. Otherwise, you may lose your marks. So please make sure that you correctly put a negative sign where it's required. And so we've done the first one now, and then the second one, x is -2. So can we find now the value of 10x minus 7 when x is -2? Of course we can. And proceeding, remember that 10x minus 7 is the expression. And then if x is -2, then you are basically going to have to substitute -2 there into the equation. So it means you are now multiplying 10 by -2, and 10 times -2 gives you -20. And then of course, -20 minus 7 will give you -27. So I hope that, excuse me, I hope that you are following. Please, for those of you who have just joined us, please take out your pen and a paper. We are completing the table here, which consists of the x values in the first row, and then the second row is just the y value there, which is given by the expression 10x minus 7. So for now we have just used the -2 as well as -3. Can we use now -1? Let's find, let's use -1. Let's find the answer there. If x is -1, what is the value of y? Now, in the same note, you can be able to tell that y will be equal to 10x. And remember that now that we are using -1, so you'll have 10 into -1 and then minus 7. So basically, this is what you'll have. And then 10 times -1 is -10. And then you subtract 7 there. So of course, you can tell that your final answer will be -17. I do hope that you are following on this lesson, because at some point you will have to do it on your own just to find the different values there. Right, we have done the -1 as well. So if x is 0 now, what will be the value of y if x is 0? So if x is 0, what will be the value of y? So once more, you can tell that if x is 0, then y will be -7, because 10 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 7 is -7. So -7 will be the final answer. All right, so -7 will be the final answer. And then the last one, or just before the last one rather, you have 1 now. If you multiply 10 by 1, you get 10, and 10 minus 7 is 3. So 3 will be the answer corresponding to positive 1. And of course, if x is 2, then you'll have again to use the formula where you can just ensure that you substitute 2 for the value of x. 10 times 2 and then minus 7. 10 times 2, as always, is 20. And what is 20 minus 7? 13. So you can tell that 13 is the final answer there. And then the last one, which is 3, 10 times 3 is 30. And then 30 minus 7 is 23. Okay, so we have done at least 2 of these tables. And then all that we need to do is just to find the next one. All right. Let us just carry on now. And then, of course, we are moving to the next slide where we are increasing now the different y values. Now, again, for the x values, you have the integers, which definitely move from -3 to +3. Now, if you can see this, you can see that the next one, you just have to substitute once again the value of 3, or -3 rather. And of course, -3 times 3 will give you -9. -9 minus 2 is -11. So -11 will be the first answer there. I hope that it makes sense. -11, so that is -11. And then the second one as well, you can be able to tell that if x is -2, then you are now going to substitute the value of x. -2 times 3 is -6, and then -6 minus 2 is -8. Can we do the next one, please? -1. What will be the value of the expression if x is -1? Can we now substitute -1 into the equation? What will be the value of y if x is -1? Right, Natalie, you've been quiet now. What will be the value? Let's move now to Ntantla. Come on, Ntantla. Lesedi as well. Khumulemo. Can we now talk about this lesson? Let's carry on to substitute. What will be the value of the expression if x is -1? You are welcome to speak using the microphone there. Alternatively, you can just put your answer in the group chat. I've just shown you a few examples. So if x is -1, then y will be equal to, remember, y is equal to 3x minus 2. That is the expression that we have. Lesedi and Tlantla have now solved that one. Lesedi says -5, and Tlantla says 3 times -1 and then minus 2. Great. Yes, so you will put 3 open bracket minus 1. Basically, that is what you will put there. And then you subtract 2. So 3 open bracket minus 1. So of course, 3 times -1 is -3. So as Lesedi has put it, -3 minus 2 then gives you -5. I agree with you, Lesedi. Thank you very much. Now, let's go to 0 now. 0, I'm sure we can do that by inspection. what will be the value if x is 0? What is the value of the expression? Nhlanhla says 0. Nhlanhla, remember the expression is 3x minus 2. That is the expression. Remember the expression, 3x minus 2, and then if x is 0, then it means where there is x, you will put 0. But the negative 2 is a constant. It cannot be affected by the 0. So 3 times 0 is 0, and then 0 minus 2. What is 0 minus 2? Negative 2. Can you see, let's say, got it there. Negative 2 is the answer there. So if x is 0, then y is negative 2. If x is 1, then you'll have 3 multiplied by 1, which is 3, and then 3 minus 2 is 1. And now we can do the last one where the value of x is now 3. Great, thank you, Nhlanhla. Negative 2 is the final answer there. Negative 2 is the final answer. I see you have done the last one, Nhlanhla. You are saying 3 times 3 and then minus 2. Great, that is correct. 3 times 3 and then minus 2. Can you now move towards a solution? Yes, 3 times 3 is 9, and then you have now 9 minus 2, and 9 minus 2 is 7. So great. You have now found the value. So basically, once you have found all these values, you can just put them in your table. Basically, that is how you can do. And we also have another one. Now, this one, you can see it's a bit different in a sense that it's a table which consists of about 3 different rows. The first one is the x signifies the x values, and the second row is the y values in the form of x. So you now have 10x minus 7, and the third one is 5x plus 3. The third one is 5x plus 3. And then let us now find the value of x, in fact, the value of y, if x is negative 3. We can use that in the equation. Y is equal to 10x minus 7. So we are saying that y will be equal to 10x minus 7. If you can recall, if you've been writing down, we have done this formula, y is equal to 10x minus 7. At some point we did that. If you can recall, 10 times negative 3. Remember, this gave us negative 37, and then negative 37 minus 7 will be equal to negative 37. All right. Right, that is what we mean when we substitute x values. So you can see that I've given you the formula there, 10x minus 7. And then if x is 3, or negative 3 rather, then y will be equal to, you will put the 10 and then open bracket negative 3. Then you close the bracket, thereafter you subtract 7. So you can see that we have 10 multiplied by negative 3, then minus 7. So what is 10 times 3? We all know 10 times 3 is 30. But because it's negative, the 3 is negative, then you'll have negative 30 minus 7. And who can tell me what is negative 30 minus 7? The answer that you get is negative 37. So basically, You have negative 37, and then you do the same with a negative 2, and then negative 2 times 10 is negative 20. All right, so negative 20, so you'll have minus 20 minus 7, and then of course this is negative 27. That's the second one. And the third one, you again use 10x minus 7. And of course, 10x minus 7 is the expression. If x is negative 1, then you'll have 10 into negative 1. And then, of course, you are minusing 7. Remember always that if you multiply a positive number and a negative number, you will get a negative number. So negative 10 minus 7, which will lead to negative 17. So negative 17 will be your final answer there. So that is the value of y if x is negative 1. Now, if x is 0, then what will be the y value? So 10 times 0 is 0, and then minus 7 is negative 7. 0 minus 7 is negative 7, by the way. So you will have negative 7 there as the final answer if x is 0. And then if x is 1, you also do the same. If x is 1, you do the same, and then you'll be able to find the correct value. Right? I hope that it makes sense. I hope that it makes a lot of sense. Can we now proceed? So we have done negative 1, and then we have done 0. If x is 0, then you'll have minus 7 there. Okay. So if x is 1, what will be the value of the expression if x is 1? So if x is 1, then you'll have 10 minus 1, because 10 times 1 is 10, then 10 minus 7. That is what you'll have. And then, of course, 3 is the answer there. So 3 will be the answer. Now, can you tell me what will be the value if x is 2? If x is 2, let's ready. If x is 2, Ntlanhla and the rest, let's go now to check if everyone is busy working now. Khumulemo, you have not said a word today. Khumulemo, Daniel as well. Tinashe and Mube, you are quiet. And Zandi Lendlovu. Can we carry on? Can we now carry on? And of course, I see that the next one, x value there, it should be 2. Yes. I see. Okay, you are doing the third one, I believe. Khumulemo says, I'm doing a test. Okay. I understand that, Khumulemo. Right. Ntlanhla, I see that you are already doing the second one, where there's 5x plus 3. And then you say that 5 times 2 times negative 2, and then plus 3. Great. That's what we do. We can proceed as such, and then to find the value. So 5x plus 3 is the value there. If x is negative 3, then you'll have 5 times negative 3, which is negative 15, plus 3 is negative 12. And then the one that you have just said, Ntlanhla, you said 5x, or 5 times negative 2, that's negative 10. And negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. So you'll have negative 7. And then if x is negative 1, therefore you will be able to tell that negative 1 times 5 is negative 5, plus 3 is negative 2. So negative 2 will be your answer there. And then the last one, if x is 3, If x is 3, what will be the value of y? If x is equal to 3. So once again, you can see that if x is 3, then the value of y will be equal to 5, open bracket, then 3, then plus 3. So basically, this is what you have. If x is equal to 3, then 5 into 3 plus 3. Can we solve that equation now that I've put it for you with ease? 5 into 3 plus 3. Can we solve that equation? And tell me what will be the value of y. 5 open bracket 3 and then plus 3. Can you multiply 5 by 3? And then you add 3. What is 5 times 3? What is 5 times 3? Right, Natalie says 15. Great. Can you add 3 to that? Can you add 3 to 15? What is 15 plus 3? 18, right. 18 is the correct answer. So in other words, if x is 3, then 5x plus 3 will give you 18, right? That will be 18. Right, and of course we are carrying on now. I think this is what we have done, and then we just have to look at the next one. If you look at the next one, we have already done 3x plus 2. In fact, 3x minus 2, we have done that. We have done that, so can we just do 6x plus 1? 6x plus 1. Can we find the different values of 6x plus 1 when x ranges from -3 to +3? Can we start with the first one? The first one, of course, if x is -3, then you are going to multiply 6 by -3. What is 6 times 3? 6 times 3 is 18, all right. But because the 3 is negative, then you will have -18. And then -18 plus 1 gives you -17. Okay, -17. And then, of course, you can just proceed to demonstrate that if x is -2, then you'll have 6 times -2, which is -12, plus 1 is -11. I hope that you are following. I hope that you are following now that we have our challenge here. And I know that you're looking forward to the next work that you can do on your own. We will get to that shortly. And then, of course, the last one, the 6x plus 1. So can we do, what is the value of 6x plus 1 if x is 0? What will be the value there? If x is 0, what is the value of the expression? Obviously, you'll multiply 6 by 0 to get 0 and then plus 1. So meaning that your answer is 1. And then, of course, if x is 1, then you'll have 6 times 1, which is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. If x is 2, then you have 6 times 2, which is 12, plus 1 is 13. And the last one, if x is 3, then you have 6 times 3, which is 18. And then 18 plus 1 is 19. So 19 will be the correct value there. 19 will be the correct value. And then you can just carry on to show, or rather to demonstrate with the next activity, where you have got -2x minus 1 and then 3x minus 6. Before we carry on with that, I think I just want us to look at this challenge, and then I hope that this challenge can be able to, we can be able to resolve that. I want you now to challenge yourself. If x minus 3 into y plus 2 is 0, can you determine the value of x if y is equal to -2? So we have got a different activity altogether. I want you to challenge yourself now, just to test yourself. We have x minus 3 in bracket, or open bracket, y plus 2. And this is an equation, by the way. This is an equation. Can we find the value of x if y is equal to -2? So basically what you need to do is to substitute the value of y. If y is equal to -2, what will be the value of x? If if y is equal to -2, what will be the value of x? Right, one of the values of x will be, it will be 0 there, because if you multiply, if you substitute y equal to -2, then you'll have -2 plus 2, which is 0. And then if you multiply 0 by the whole expression there, it will give you 0. Alternatively, the x value there can be 3 as well, because 3 minus 3 is 0. Then it means the left-hand side will be equal to the right-hand side. And the last one, you do the same as well. If x is 3, then you can see that y will either be -2 or 0. So those are the two options. So before we can move to the last one, can we finish this table, please? I'm giving you a chance just to complete this table. Let me give you some few seconds, and then so that you can complete the table. Let's complete our table. Right. The last one, of course, if x is -3, then all that you need to do now is just to substitute the value in the expression. So remember, the expression is y is equal to -2x plus 3. So basically, this is the expression that we have. Y is equal to -2x plus 3. So find y if x is 3. In fact, if x is equal to -3, then y will be equal to -2 into -3 and then plus 3. So basically, this is what you'll have. If x is equal to -3, then y is equal to 2 open bracket -3 and then close bracket plus 3. Now you can multiply the two. Y is equal to 2 times -3. Then you must multiply 2 by -3. So this simply means that y will be equal to, you must multiply -2 by -3, which will give you +6. And then plus 3. All right. So what is 6 plus 3? Anybody else? what will be 6 plus 3? 6 plus 3 is 9. So 9 will be the correct answer there. Thank you, Zamokuhle. 9 is the correct answer. So that is what you have in the first category there. And the second one as well, if x is -2, what will be the value now? Y will be equal to -2, and then you open bracket, again you put -2, and then plus 3. So basically this is your expression. Remember that negative times negative will give you positive. Therefore, you have y, which is equal to 4 plus 3. And what is 4 plus 3? Then you can find that 4 plus 3 will be 7. So Zamokuhle says the final answer will be 7. Thank you, Zamokuhle. And then if x is 0, again, you can just substitute. 0 times 2 there is 0. And then you'll have 0 plus 3. And what will be 0 plus 3? As always, the next term will be 0 plus 3. So 0 plus 3 is 3. So I'm sure that Zamokuhle can tell that 0 plus 3 is 3. And then you do the same with a 1 and the rest, all just to substitute in your values. So 1 times -2 is -2. -2 plus 3 is 1. So you simply subtract 2 from 3. And then if x is 3, then again you have -2 times 3, which is -6. And -6 plus 3 is -3. Yes, thank you very much, Zamokuhle. And then the next one, if x is -3, you have -3 times -4, which is positive 12, by the way. And then 12 minus 1. So it means that your first value there, you'll have -3 times -4, which is 12, and then 12 minus 1. So it means that the first term will be 12 minus 1, which is 11. Zamokuhle is correct. And then, of course, the last one, -2 times 4 is 8, and then 8 minus 1 will be your question that will be 7. And then the last one, if x is 3, then you'll have -4, in fact, -12, sorry. -12 minus 1. And what is -12 minus 1? In the last one there. -12 minus 1 is -13. Remember, it's the same as adding. You are adding everything there. So -13 will be your last answer. So I'm doing these things precisely because they are part of your curriculum. And then I know that at times learners may find it hard to substitute, but this brings us to the end of our lesson. So for your homework, you can just carry on to do, just to complete this table, you can see some x values are there, and then we have some y values, 0 and 0, -2, 0 and 1 in the x values, and then you can find the missing values. Right, this lesson was brought to you now by the lockdown, but rather the STEM Digital School in partnership with the Sasol Foundation. Until we meet again tomorrow, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.